Alright, so past couple weeks we've been working on attacking from guard, sweeping from guard, all different types of options from there. Next couple weeks we're going to work on passing, a couple different principles on that, where to go, where not to go, ways to keep yourself out of trouble. First thing we're going to do is just a simple knee up, knee cut pass. So we're here, I'm going to get a nice solid grip on the jacket. I want to be just below his chest here. Boom, so that I can bring that kind of the side of his cloth over to the center of his chest. If you're no-gi, it's just simple palm on the body here. Once you're here, your other hand is going to grab the hip right where the loop on your pants is if you're wearing gi pants. If you're uncivilized and don't wear collars, I'll just shame you for it. Austin gets a black belt and it says, I don't want to. So boom, you grab right there. If not, you're just cupping the hip. Here, and you roll that on top of his thigh here. So that way you can use that elbow, a little bit of pain management, but also leverage here. Once we're here, I'm going to move the opposite or the same side leg as I have the hip. I'm going to open it wide first, then I'm going to put my knee right up the center of James here. We're going to get real friendly and comfortable with this.
Keep pushing.
Now, the order of those legs is very important to make sure you don't get swept. When I'm here, I open wide first, then middle. If you go middle, then wide, your knees are basically together there for about half a second. It literally takes nothing to sweep you. So you always want to open, leg wide, knee up the middle. And you're not just holding him down, you're trying to almost push him away from it. See how that naturally starts to put pressure on James's guard? What that's going to allow us to do, boom, is I'm going to try to look to pin his leg to the mat with that elbow. Once we're here, our knee on that side that was wide is just going to jump over and staple his knee to the mat. So I'm here, my knee pins down, my foot should be right in the crook of that knee, just so we're right here. Now, once we're here, we're going to go over a variety of options. First one's going to be very simple. This hand digs for an underhook. All right. Once we're here, I'm going to post my back foot in the mat. Lift up, slide that knee through, walk by, scissor side control. Once you're here, biggest thing is make sure we're not leaning back WWE style, you know, I'm pinning them. No, that's not how this works, right? Keeping your hips low, hips and chest low, head low here, floating that hip to keep all your weight on James here. So we're here, all we're looking to do, right? We're working, all these fun things. Boom, I get my grips. We're here. Either solid grips with it, or no grip, or just palms here. Widen, knee up that center line. I'm pushing him away and driving my hips and legs back. That's going to allow me to staple here. Biggest thing is once you get here, guys, there should be a good bit of weight on your opponent here. Because once I'm here, this is what keeps control of his hips. Because if James goes to move right now, I have him stuck, which is the goal. This hand digs for my underhook. I lift up, keeping all my weight on this shin bone right now. Slide that knee through. Walk up, scissor side, or if you prefer, traditional side. What questions do we have on this so far?
Go all the way down the line.
It's one of those simple but not easy.
Keep your hands up.
Break itself. Are you looking for it to be like a drive forward and pop open, or is it like a slow pressure into a pop?
So it's going to depend on what he's doing. For me, the biggest thing I'm looking for is to stretch his legs as far as I can. Most people aren't blessed with the length you have. So when I get a little bit of pressure, when I get, you know, my base wide and I get here, as soon as I start driving my hips back, James's guard is close to popping at this point, right? So once I'm here, adding a little pressure on that thigh and a little bit of that forward pressure with my hands, that's going to break that. I'm not looking for it to be like you're jumping to that, but you want to apply pressure quick. So it's not a... Okay, now, when I get here, and I decide I'm breaking, James closes his guard tight, boom, boom, here, boom, and I go. It should be pretty, the sense of urgency should be pretty quickly. Once that guard breaks though, you have to move quickly. Bop. As soon as those legs open, you have to go. Because if not, they're going to start initiating things against you. Whether it's sweep subs, whatever it happens to be, you have to get that knee across. Because now you've killed 90% of what they can do, unless they're just nasty with a half guard. So that's why I'm going to this quickly. Here.
Bend the knees and do your
Makes sense.
Get up under that rope.
Pivoting off the guard range issue.
Right hand first.
If I'm, I guess, longer than me, sometimes my base is
Right there, the right hand first.
To get that stretch. So you'll run into this with the lanky fuckers, Eli being, you know, one of the most frustrating guards to be in, right? Since he's walking in late. And as he walks in late, I'm like,
You go to the rest of the left hand first.
right? I get here, I can stretch all day with Eli, right? He's not running out of legs anytime in this section. So that's where I'm going to focus more on the leverage here. So that's where the elbow pin becomes more important. Because when I'm doing this, I'm using a lot of pressure here. I'm sure James has boom, to get that down so that I can get here. Because I'm trying to open those hips that way. One, to kill some of his length, but also to use that leverage with my forearm. And that's what's allowing me to come through here. Other questions? Carolyn.
Am I aiming to have the shin just sitting right on top of that bone?
Yeah, I want my, so whenever you lay their thigh flat, you know why an inside leg kick hurts?
Yeah.
Big ass nerve right in the middle of your thigh right there. I'm trying to balance my shin on that nerve. James really appreciates questions like this because it allows me to bounce like this
You're welcome, babe.
and cause that pain. I want that flinch response. When I get here, if I'm settled in and James feels this pain, he wants me to move. He's asking like, please Dustin, get off that nerve. It'd be really nice. Which allows that pass to come quicker and easier. Like we talk about all the time, if I can get you to flinch, you're a half a second to a full second behind me. The better you get, that's all you need. I don't need James to be 4 steps behind. I need him to be a step behind me. All right? Make sense?
So on your right leg, when you're passing the guard, is it more of like a sit through, or is it like you were doing earlier where you set up?
It's a baseball slide.
Okay.
Wildly enough, when I have you guys do warm-up drills, generally going to be one of the motions we're doing that day. So when I'm here, I'm looking to have this here, and I'm using the pressure here to baseball slide that hip through. Because that's going to allow me to then either come up or continue sliding up into the scissor side. Make sense? Other questions? Driller out. 1, 2, 3. Ah, fuck you, Jeremy. Ask earlier. What?
When are you transitioning from the leg to the arm?
Make sure I hear you right.
So when are you taking that arm and changing from that leg?
As soon as his guard breaks, I'm driving this to the floor as soon as I can and jumping that. This is not as soon as this guard opens, you have to initiate. So his guard breaks, right? His ankles are crossed, they're uncrossed.
At what point are you going to try to get control of the bottom arm when I'm getting that leg?
Oh, like this arm? Boom. As soon as I have this pinned down, this grip is useless. This grip is superficial at this point. It's not doing anything. So at that point, I'm going to start hand fighting, grips, bicep blocking, whatever makes sense for you at that point. It also depends on what he's trying to do here. He's trying to scoop up under me. I may have to be using that to, base him out and then slide through. If he's trying to hand fight with me, he may block the bicep and slide anyway. Just depends more on what his reaction is.
Just see it from the back.
Oh, from the back.
Don't even say it like that. Now,
So we're here.
she's a part of the family.
Boom. Widen. Knee up to center. Pushing back. Bracing down. Once you get that leg down, boom. Over.
Now you're going to traumatize the dog.
Looking for the underhook. Do not slide through this without the underhook. If you do, I will kick you in the head as I walk by.
Oh, yeah?
Here. Slide up.
You know about it.
And through. Alright. Now driller out. 1, 2, 3. So I get here with Mr. Hackett. Boom, we're working, right?
There you go.
I get my grips. I get here. I start planting. But let's say for whatever reason, hopping my front leg here is just difficult for me, right? Like I can't, like that timing's just tough for me. All we're gonna do is we're gonna knee slide the other leg and big step up with this leg. So I'm here, I'm gonna look to clear this ankle off your hip, slide up and up, here. Now, when I put this leg up, I don't wanna have it sprawled 6 feet away from me. I wanna have it on that 90 so that I have good base and pressure. Because when you get here, James doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu. He's already seeing what he should be doing. He's going to be reaching up, looking for that underhook. So we're here. All we're going to do, look for our underhook. Find our wrist, bicep, control whatever you want. I like to use my head to control him, so I'm going to put it right behind his jawline with my unicorn horn. I'm going to turn that head. Boom. And use that to slide my knee through again. Now, one big thing for you guys when we're getting to side control, I'm seeing a lot of us staying really low on side. To where like our bottom knees under his butt or just level with his hip. When we get into side control, guys, my bottom knee should be level with his chest. My top knee should be at the top of his head. There's no reason to pass his guard and then keep fighting his legs. So I come up here, scoop under the head, tuck my elbow to the inside of this knee. Now if James goes to re-guard or do anything, I'm in much better position than if I'm here. Like, why are we still fighting his legs? We just work really, really hard to pass them. So we're here. Boom. I get here. No-gi. We open. Boom. Push in here. All we're going to look to do, push, step. Post. Now, 9 times out of 10, if they don't suck, they're going to start looking for this underhook, so you need to find that. Do not pass without it, because if you do, let's say I go overhook here and I pass, just give them your back. Just give it to them already. Just let them have their hooks, because you suck. So we're here. Fight for this underhook and don't leave till you have it, right? I have to have that. Once you're here, pull that elbow up, slide up, finish up top. If you don't like coming to traditional side control, just slide all the way to scissor side like we've been working on before. Alright? Very similar, just sliding with the other leg. Questions on that so far?
Where am I balancing the weight? Because I feel like if I go too far up, it's easier to offset.
For side control?
Yeah.
So when I get to side control, like I said, I want my bottom knee should be in line with his nipples. My top knee should be right in line with the top of his head. Now when I get here, I'm not driving over the top of him. I'm bringing James into me. So my pressure is here. Right in James's jaw, and I'm balanced with my weight, chest on his chest. So if we both had Superman logos on our chest, I want those attached to each other, right? That's what we're looking for. What a lot of people like to do is drive here. And all you have to do, if you don't suck, is collapse my elbow and drive through. Does that make sense? So it's not so much like a lot of people try to like drive their weight through. I'm trying to settle my weight in and move my shoulder. And it's tighter this way anyway. Like this is more pressure than driving in. Because all driving in does is drive your weight past him instead of into him. Does that make sense? Other questions?
The guy on bottom, once you get that weight staple, decides to kind of go the other route where like either inverting or going towards that other leg.
Oh, if he starts to come up this way?
Either that way or just likes to grab that leg, you just not carry more weight now?
Yeah, like if he's here and he starts to like leg fight, like he wants to go rolling knee bar, something like that, that's great. Go for a rolling knee bar. I'm stapled. All 100 pounds of me right now is stapled me to the floor. If he can come through that staple, you messed up taking the match. Right? Boom, on here, and this knee should never clear your hip. So I'm using my hands here to keep this hip.
At what point kind of them taking that staple off?
So like if he starts pushing this leg, boom, I'm not, because I have better hand fighting. I'm in a better hand fighting position than he is. So if James starts to push my knees, push my legs, start doing things. Thank you. I needed a grip anyway. He starts reaching across this way. Thank you. If perhaps even better than another. Like, you should be in a more dominant position at that point. If they can buck all 160 pounds of you off their leg, we're in an absolute division. Sometimes jiu-jitsu doesn't work if they're too big. Trust me. I grabbed a guy who was 320 pounds. I shot. Nothing happened. So sometimes you've got to find other routes at that point. But if you can get to this staple position and stay in good position, James can go to move and go for my hips and my knees and all that. I'm in better position than him. Like, you should be able to find a way through at that point. Does that make sense?
This drill, are you trying the left knee first and then transition to the right, or is this one just straight and going?
No, this is, I'm uncomfortable. I have a bum left knee. I am unbalanced this way. Whatever fucking reason you don't like that initial staple. Some people don't. Like if you get here, sometimes this knee's too far back and it just may not staple well, right? Well, guess what? That leg's here anyway. So like there's a variety of reasons why you would go this way. Any of them are valid, right? You're more comfortable with this leg. You're more comfortable with this post. You feel more balanced here. Both have their pluses and minuses. This has a little bit more of a tendency to lead to scrambles because he's going to sit up hard. So I have to be kind of prepared for that party. Where the other one, I have better control of both sides of his hips. Neither's right, neither's wrong. It's tactical and technical. Which do you prefer from a tactical sense? And from a technical, which are you more proficient? Other questions?
How are you clearing the foot if he
He staples? He staples my foot down, right? Because he's a jackass and doesn't want to give me my points. Dig your underhook. Dig your chin right, your head right to his chin. Block this bicep. Start looking to kick that leg out and slide. It's not sometimes it's not pretty in jiu-jitsu, right? Like I get here and he's really got that staple. Yank that bad boy out. Sometimes it's physical. Now, you obviously don't want to like axe kick through this, but if you push your foot and start kicking at the top of those knees, it'll clear that out pretty quickly. All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3. So I'm here. Boom. We get to the guard. We start breaking, right? Boom. I break the guard here. Let's say we do like that first pass initially, right? All we're going to do, we're going to go back to that first pass. We staple the knee down, come across, right? But instead of looking to pass this way, all we're going to look to do is bring our back foot up. I'm trying to post it just behind my own butt here. Once we get here, I'm either going to control the collar or the head here. My backside hand is going to scoop his knee. I'm going to look to split him forward and pass the leg in front. What that's going to get you into is that leg drag position. Once you're here, a couple options. Step off to the side control and just say, hey, great, I'm here. That's option A. Or what I want us to work today, we're going to look for that underhook again. I'm going to look to pin this knee to the mat. Drive our knee over. Drive up to mat.
Dustin, you're coming in on the line. You're not moving that power head.
So we're here.
There you go.
I get open. I get here. Boom. I post this foot. I'm going to look to control and drive this leg, this arm under the leg. Once I'm here, all we're going to look to do is pass that in front of us. Because once we're here, regardless what reaction he has, I have great options. So from leg drag, like we've talked about before, if James pushes me back and tries to drive into me, right, he inner leg locks. If he tries to come up to his knees, that's great, you just take his back. For this one, all we're going to do is we're going to drive him flat to the mat. Here. Pin that leg to the ground. Drive this knee in. Drive this knee over. Looking to scoop the arms. Come into mat. Yeah, we're going to keep turning, don't worry. So we're here. Boom, I get here and here, right? Now once you get here, guys, the reason I like to do this one is especially if the guy's getting real heavy with this knee and trying to like shin shield and do stuff, it just allows me to pass that leg easier. Like a lot of guys especially will start shin shielding here and try to start framing you away and try to start re-guarding. That's what makes this work even better. Because all I'm going to do is pass the leg over. Once we're here, look for that underhook. And with this hand, I'm going to look to push his elbow up as much as I can. That way, when I drive this leg over here, I drive this elbow up, scoop in, here. Once you get to mount, obviously you have a couple options. I prefer to cross my heels, arch them into my butt, hit James because he's dumb. Or, if you prefer, you can grapevine or slide up high mount. Dealer's choice on what type of mount you prefer, but that's going to be the options bar. Questions on this?
Done your speech, bar combo.
Would you ever hold the elbow down and try to do a high triangle?
No.
Right away? No.
So don't rush a triangle here. Realize, almost irregardless of what sport we're in, you don't want to rush that. If you're in a point jiu-jitsu match, take the pass and mount points. That's a 7-point swing. Then you can set up a triangle. It's just as easy from there as it is from here. If you're in MMA, why rush? You're in dominant position. Get there, secure the position, then find something. If you're in a sub only, you're not going to get many chances, a big swing like this, to get to a dominant position. So you have to make your swings count with that. So rushing to fly to that triangle, like if I get here and I'm like, oh yeah, let's try to like rush to that triangle, like all you're doing is putting yourself in a bad position for an iffy move at that point. Like you're not going to get a good bite on that triangle initially. Where I would rather get to S mount and then set up a true mount. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a tactical decision. Can you do it from a technical sense? Yes. That is an option. Explore it at your own risk. From a tactical, should I make this decision at this time? No. That would not be one. Other questions here? Yeah. We'll keep spinning. Boom, I'm here. Oh, and I break. Gotta get here, right? Post this foot up. Pass James over. Dig. Pressure down. Because the nice part is, when I pressure this down, as I drive across, James is naturally going to want to get his hips back. So as he does that, that's what's going to allow me to drive that knee over. Sweep those arms. Any other questions on this? One more time for fun. No? Here. Boom. Base. Pass. Underhook. Plant. Drive over. Scoop the elbow. Alright, driller out. 1, 2, 3.